Hello and welcome to the Better Business Podcast. My name is Alexei and I'm your host. And today I want to talk to you about email marketing. Now, the subject obviously far from being new, but I think that it is a bit of a missed opportunity for a lot of small businesses. So if you're listening in, I think this should definitely help you in one way or another. Well, first of all, probably less than 10% of the websites utilize email marketing on their website. And what I mean by that is that within email marketing, you have to, first of all, build a list. And you naturally have a bit of a list through customer communication, people inquiring through to the website. And think about it, like a lot of those people just inquire once, you deal with them, and you never speak to them again. I mean, they inquired with you in the first place because of your business. So there is potentially an opportunity right there. Secondly, not a lot of businesses have got any opt-ins on the website. And an opt-in is basically a name and email capture that comes up on the website and offers something really, really cool. Now, there's a whole bunch of things that you can obviously push as the lead magnet, if you like. And a lot of people refer to it as lead magnets. But for some reason, people don't do it. And if you think about it, it's really more about the general topic of the nature of the inquiry that people would be interested in. So, for example, with our digital marketing, people want to know about the mistakes that most businesses are making, or they may want to know about quick wins, or they may want to know about little things like the secrets, the things that we've come across and found really working. Like these sort of things would have more interest. And if you think about the numbers game, let's say out of 100 people that are visiting your website, you're probably going to have a conversion rate of, let's say, 3 to 10%, depending on your conversion rate optimization, the number of people inquiring. So if it's, let's say 10%, that's 10 people out of 100 that are going to be inquiring. That's going to be pretty good. But if you're going to have an opt-in on the website and capturing names and emails, I feel that you can pretty much, get up to 30, even 50% with the right sort of message. Now, obviously, it depends on the business. Some areas are really, really saturated. But the reason why this is so important, that the cost of advertising keeps going up. The cost of marketing across the whole lot keeps going up, and it's harder and harder to get people across on that single interaction. So there's a whole customer journey that a person has to go through in order to find the business, understand that they're the right sort of business for them, inquire, and then engage them as well. So there's really a lot of gaps within the whole process. And if you apply email marketing as a way to engage with the customers a lot better, starting with building a list and educating them a little bit more about what it is that you do and how you do it, you got a greater chance in the end to land them as a customer and potentially get some of the past customers to become your repeat customers. So really, that's the power of email marketing. So I guess, the basics is, how do you basically start the whole process? Well, obviously, if you're technically savvy, there are plenty of tools like, MailChimp, ActiveCampaign, and so on. We don't really have a particular preference, but obviously some tools work a little bit better than others in the sense that they may do some things a little bit easier. Like, we build websites and we want something that integrates with the websites natively. So you're not going to lose any data. But you can make things as simple as using a WordPress website and have a form, doing your pop-ups. You can do something as simple as that. Now, on the back of that, what you really want is an auto response. So you want an auto reply going out to those people, just, filling out a form saying, hey, thanks very much. We've received your inquiry or whatever that may be, and we'll get back to you in XYZ. Now, what that does, and this is one thing that really a lot of people miss, is that people know in their inbox that they have had an interaction with this business. And if somebody goes out and gets a few quotes from a number of suppliers, let's say in a business like cleaning, they probably just copy and paste a initial message a number of times. And, based on that whole thing, they may not remember specifically who they spoke to. So having that auto response is a great way to sort of build that trust and build that familiarity, if you like, in order to connect with those people further. Now, heaps of people don't do it. Now, on the back of that, with most tools like ActiveCampaign, for example, you can do sequences. So if someone has opened that email, you can send them an email. If someone has not opened an email, you can basically send them a follow-up email, and so on and so on. There's a bunch of different recipes, and that's what they like to refer to them as. But the whole story is, based on the number of that, the reason for that opt-in. If it's a, quote submission, then you can automate the follow-up saying, hey, how do we go? Do you have any further questions? And so on. So it can really be a step ahead. If you're talking about a lead magnet, some sort of a report or a guide or something that people are getting for free on the front of your website, really the whole idea is to put these people through a bit of a process, and there's a bit of a window to it. Now, every business is different, but I would recommend emailing those people 2 to 3 times in the first 7 days to make sure that you can answer some of their potential questions. And look, I've seen some people going real aggressive on email marketing and other people basically pulling back and saying, hey, I don't want this. But at the end of the day, you need to understand what it is that you're actually trying to achieve out of this whole exercise. Now, in areas like, legal services, for example, the cost per click in Google Ads has gone through the roof. It's really become quite expensive. So adding things like email marketing with the opt-in and the follow-ups and doing a few other things really helps you squeeze out that extra, 10 to 20% in terms of conversion rate in the long game. Now, we obviously need to consider the fact that you guys have got a sales process in place that you follow, but lead interaction and building trust with that lead is really the key. That's really the foundation with the whole thing. I guess, you need to split test a few things. You need to try a few different angles to make sure that this works for you. But if you look at any online store, for example, you'll always find that there is a pop-up that comes up with some sort of a new customer discount, because the whole idea is not to do the interaction once, but acquire that email address and then do multiple interactions with that person. That's why a lot of online stores heavily push this as well. The conversion rate on online stores is a lot lower in comparison to lead gen websites. And obviously, you want to utilize every single dollar. So that's really the takeaway from there. I think if you're really looking for a strategy, you really need to understand your customer journey a little bit better. And then from there, email marketing mimics that really, really well. Now, you can take things to another level and integrate with things like SendGrid that actually works with SMS services as well, like Twilio. And you can take things to completely another level. Now, you have to understand whether you're probably going to upset some of your potential customers, or you may be adding value. I know for a fact that I shop at a place called Super Butcher, and every Saturday they send me a text message saying, hey, we've got this special coming up, some new meat has arrived, and so on and so on. And it works. It keeps me informed, but at the same time, this is a business model where I continuously buy their products. So you have to understand, I guess, the nature of the business and how that sinks into everyday life. You don't want to annoy the hell out of your people. You want to provide value. That's the main thing. So with your email, I think you need to understand that there's a few key metrics and there's a few key elements that you really need to include. So first of all, you need a list. So we've covered that so far. Hopefully you've got a pretty good list. Hopefully you can extract some of your past interactions from your website. Sometimes there's a log to the actual form on the website that you can actually get names and emails from. The second thing you need is obviously the actual email to go out. Now, the main thing with the email is subject line. You need to make sure that the subject line is good enough in order for people to actually open those emails. So that's the open rate. And really the open rate that you want to strive for would be above 30%. Above 30% means that people are, really interested in your sort of stuff. You can do a lot more. Excellent. That means that you've got a pretty good rapport with your list. And look, why I say 30% is because some people, when they get an auto reply, they don't really open those. They may be deleting those straight away. Some people don't check their emails all the time, while others have got them open all the time. But anyway, subject line to make sure that people open. So that's the open rate, 30%. That's what we're pretty much aiming for. Then from there, we want people to read the actual email and we want them to do something there. Now, I recommend putting a link somewhere right up the top so that people can actually see exactly what the email is about and then click through to that link. Now, what I mean up the top is that if you look at your email on the mobile view, you want that link visible. This way, you're going to have a higher click-through rate. Now, why do we want that click-through rate? The reason being is that once the person clicks through, you can actually record that click through and see the interaction with the actual email. But then you can also execute a lot of other marketing campaigns like remarketing, for example, through Facebook, Google, and whatnot. So the whole idea is really to get them to visit that page. Now, for that, obviously, you need to make sure that the actual email is interesting and it's actually personal as well. So I would always start with a person name. Don't go, hey, friend, or hi there, or something like that. If you've acquired their name, which I assume you have by now, you really need to start with that. I want to make it as personal as possible. I'm a big fan of writing those plain text emails. I don't really like those fancy templates and stuff. But look, everyone's different. And I guess there are different needs for various emails. But if you're emailing somebody for the first time, I want to make it personal. I really want to make sure that people can interact with my copy as opposed to images in the email and click through. That's really all I'm trying to do. And then from there, I can serve them ads and get them over the line through the other follow-up or repeat marketing, if you like, or remarketing. So that's the whole idea. If you're using, fancy HTML templates and so on, they work really well when people already have that brand trust. Like if people don't have the brand trust, you really want to go personal. If they know who you are, then they would expect those emails to come through and they'll still interact with those as well. But I'm sure a lot of you have got, full emails, and really what you're trying to do is you're really trying to strengthen that connection with that contact. And really what you want to do is get them to a certain action. And I guess in terms of lead generation, you either want to get a repeat transaction, a referral, or maybe re-engage that person for whatever purposes. Maybe they could be a very good, that could be a very good advocate for your business to leave you a testimonial, which is another really good point to cover. A lot of people don't really ask for things like testimonials, and as a result, their businesses have very, very little social proof. We did a podcast with Carl Schwantes last week in relation to Google reviews and online reputation. Have a listen to it if you haven't already. But the whole idea is your online reputation works in a sense that it supports people's decisions to actually choose you as opposed to somebody else. It's a huge topic. Have a listen to it. Let us know what you think. Anyway, email marketing is the topic for this week. I hope you've enjoyed this episode. There's obviously a lot more than we can cover in terms of tools, various strategies, and so on, but I want to see what you guys think about what we've covered so far. And if you enjoy this topic and you want to elaborate on it further, I'd be happy to record another episode to touch on a few more things. Comments below. Please make sure you subscribe to this channel, whichever platform you're listening to, or if you're watching, we're on YouTube as well. And yeah, we'll chat soon.